This is a whole property garden bed demo and makeover, measuring it, and I have to video this right now for myself, for my quote, and for my guys for instructions. So I'm going to take you along with me. Follow along. Check this out. Alright, this particular customer wants all of this garden bed area removed and turned into grass. Why? Because they want low maintenance. So the first thing I'm looking at is square footage. You got about 265 square feet there. You got another 200 total square feet here, and I'm seeing berms. There was a tree under here before, so I want to look for the unknown and dig under there or see what's going on and make sure that this tree was properly ground all the way so we don't run into roots, which means I'm going to want a dingo machine. This is too much digging by hand with the wheelbarrows. You can do it, but I'm going to want a dingo because there's too much material. All these plants are gone. We're going to remove everything slightly below the grade and then regrade it and pitch it away from the house on a 410 pitch. Basically, a 410 pitch is every 10 feet it drops 4 inches. Here, not that much, maybe like a 210 pitch, let's say, just so it matches the grade of the grass and it's away from the house, because right now it's grading towards the freaking house. So we're gonna cut this down, remove it with the dingo, blow grade, and put 2 inches of topsoil, and we're doing grass seed, not sod. Sod is more expensive than grass seed. We do grass seed and peat moss or hay, depending on how hot it is out. They both work fine. And then we give the customer watering instructions, and we return in 2 weeks to do another coating of seed as a courtesy to the customer to make sure it germinates. This Bradford pear tree right here needs to be thinned out, trimmed, elevated, pruned, and trimmed all the way from the house, and just in general reduction and bilateral pruning of like just the really long branches up there. Just trim the whole thing up, trim all these burning bush, these boxwoods, and we're keeping this garden bed edge. And the customer kind of wants an idea of how we can fix this. So I think we're gonna keep the radius going around the tree and curve it in, and then kidney shape it back out so it matches the parallel line of that bed, and everything else will become grass. So we're doing standard maintenance at trimming all this up. This garden bed is way too high. It's literally, probably 15 years of mulch after mulch after mulch. It's all compressed and compost and turned back into topsoil. It's just too high. We're gonna have to come in with the dingo and remove 6 inches of matter, maybe 7 to 8 inches at the highest point, and then all along here, and we want to regrade it all below and then mulch it, a new layer of mulch. They want to get rid of all this plastic edging too. So when I'm quoting this, I'm looking at $1,200 a day for 3 guys, plus disposal fees, minus the cost of materials on the job site. So with the cost of a dingo on the property is $400 for a day. So we could call this whole area $1,200 plus $100 in dumping fees. That's $13. The dingo is $4. That's $17. And then fresh topsoil and grass seed, we're gonna need literally half a yard of topsoil. That's $1,800 for the front. Coming around to the side and back here. Now, last time I did a quote like this, it was 13 grand, and I totally messed up something and I couldn't upload the video. So don't put a bold underline after anything I'm saying, because I go through everything again with a fine-tooth comb. There was a tree here, and now it's graded, reverse graded towards the house, and water's pooling there. So we're gonna take some topsoil, we're gonna cut this down, and then build up the grade by the basement window, see in there, to fix that pitch, and run it all the way up underneath here. Done. All the way over here, this Bradford pear tree is huge. We're gonna reduce the load-bearing branches. They're lines-tailed going up over the house, which means that there's all this shag on the outside, and that's just one long skinny branch. So it's very load-bearing, like a lion's tail. Makes it more prone to breaking, ripping, tearing, falling on the patio, falling on a person. So we're gonna trim from the ground, just trim up this whole tree and thin out the inside, jump in the neighbors' yards and prune it all the way back, and overall reduce the size of the tree. And then this garden bed underneath it, we're removing 100% of everything, turning it back into grass for low maintenance. So I'm stepping around back here looking at any excess debris. Is there any rocks or boulders or what's in here? Poke around and see. So coming over here, this locust tree needs to be trimmed through, pruned, elevated, remove all the dead wood on the inside, everything hanging low and all the shag that's horizontal or drooping and going into the neighbors' yards and over the arborvitaes. Just prune all this back very, very carefully. And we're gonna have to rope that down so like when you trim it, it doesn't fall on the freaking privacy fence, because then you're charged with having to fix a fence. So this is all simple stuff you can do from the ground with pruning poles if you are experienced and know what you're doing. Otherwise, don't do it. And then this whole garden bed here needs to be turned back into grass completely. All this mulch. So we're going to rip out the garden bed edging restraint, any of this fabric, pull it all out and put it in the dump trailer, and then regrade topsoil and put seed, starter fertilizer, and hay, and watering instructions. So you're looking at another $1,800 in work back here, plus the trees now. I'll include that tree in $1,800, but this tree is going to be $1,000 itself. So we got $3,600 plus this tree is $4,600, and I didn't include the price of all the grass seed and peat moss and hay. And we're looking at about $250 in materials for grass seed, peat moss, hay. So 36, 46, 47, 48, 48.50. Something I'm missing here. I can feel it. I can feel there's something I'm missing. 48.50. Oh, something I'm missing. What am I missing?